On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping and all that other stuff too. Isn't it kind of neat how each of the 12 days of Christmas, you not only get like that new thing, which is pretty darn big. I mean, 11 pipers. I don't know. We had like probably 11 piccolos in the KU band when I was there. It's a lot of pipers. But you also get all the other stuff too, like over again. How many partridges and pear trees are you going to end up with by the end? Well, 12 actually. A lot of stuff when you're done. It's like you have to keep expanding and getting bigger. And, in our gospels, all throughout this time after Epiphany, the church also gives us kind of, gospels that ask us to expand our capacity to understand what Jesus is capable of. So, Epiphany season is filled with all kinds of miracle stories where Jesus does some incredible sign, some kind of manifestation of his divinity. Today we get the feeding of the 5,000 with just the two loaves and fishes, the five loaves, two fishes. Now, the apostles had seen Jesus do some stuff, so they had kind of start to know, like, this guy's a little different. He does stuff that it seems like only God can do. Well, today he's got five loaves and two fish, and he's able to feed 5,000 people. Now, obviously, when it starts out, the apostles wonder, well, what are we going to do? Get food for these people? We're not capable enough. We wouldn't get 200 days wages. Wouldn't even give them even just a little bit. So their minds pretty small at this point as far as what they think Jesus is capable of doing. Well, then Jesus expands their capacity. He works a miracle and shows them, actually, I'm capable of doing a little bit more. It's like, oh wow, he can feed people with just a little food. Well, of course, this goes on and on in the Gospels, doesn't it? There's some dire situation that people think, well, God can't do anything about this. Jesus has reached the limit of what he's capable of. And we certainly see that with, well, this person, he's can't walk. Jesus says, well, get up, walk. Whoa, didn't think Jesus could do that. Okay, but this person has been blind from birth. Can't do anything about that. And Jesus does. He cures a man blind from birth. Wow, okay. All right, now this little girl, though, she just died. Now there's no hope. Why trouble the master? Little girl, I tell you, arise. And the dead girl gets up. Whoa, capacity expanded. But then, okay, well, this son of this poor widow of Nain, he's been dead long enough that we just celebrated his funeral. We're going to go dump his body in a grave. Nothing Jesus can do about that. Touches the coffin, the dead boy gets up. Capacity expanded. Okay, but Lazarus now. Lazarus is not just dead. I mean, he's been dead and in the tomb for 4 days. I mean, there's obviously nobody can do nothing about that, not even Jesus. Lazarus, come out. And a dead man comes out. Capacity expanded. What limits do we place on God for thinking what he is capable of doing? All right, but Jesus himself now, dead on the cross. Obviously, there's nothing Jesus can do about that. Now it's really over. We have reached the limit of our capacity to accept what God could do. On the third day, stone rolled away. Jesus comes out of the tomb, appears to 5,000 people, risen from the dead. Capacity infinitely expanded. Death, not the end for anybody. We might think then that perhaps the goal of our life should be to increase our capacity to accept what God is capable of doing. In fact, some of the great saints have likened us as human beings to like a vessel, like a cup or a dish or something that is capable of receiving God's grace. In heaven, our little vessels will be completely full, and that will be glorious. But what if our vessels were bigger and could hold more of God's grace? Well, we would get more grace. So our role in life, knowing that we're going to be filled in heaven, no doubt, but make ourselves a bigger capacity, be able to accept more of God's grace. Allow, no matter how dire the situation seems, what might God do here? What if our lives could be filled with expectation? Oh my goodness, this seems really dire. Wow, God's going to do something awesome. Now, people still get sick, people still die. That is the way of life in this world, always will be. But can we expand our capacity enough to see no matter what happens to us in this world, it's not the end. We are just going to be filled forever in heaven. And the more we make ourselves a capacity in this life, the more God will amaze us, and the more we are going to be capable of living every day filled with God's grace. I pray that for you today. Imagine what God might do. And God bless you.